quick setup for a single frequency on a manual tracker, our SRX1200 M2 model. Make sure that your receiver is powered up either with batteries or with the external power supply, and connect it up by USB to your computer. Press USB open, which should connect it. If you get an error message at this point, you just go to host setup and then just select the proper COM port. In my case, it made 18, so I saved it and I was able to connect up with the USB. Make sure that you log on. You go to Project Editor. You set up your scan settings. So at the minimum, set up the scan time to be a half second longer than your longest burst interval. If you have a 11-second tag, it's great to set it up as 11 and a half. Now you only have one frequency, so the minimum should be 11 and a half, or you can go higher. Now in this case, I want to have the GPS clock and positions because I'm manually tracking. I enable GPS clock sync and GPS positions in the records, and now I'm going to send all information to the receiver. Now I only have one channel. Now I put this in previously. I can show you how to add a new one, and fairly straightforward. You just key in your 6 digits, and I'm just going to key in 150.500 or whatever you want to do. Select the code set. Now there's at least 4 on board these new 1200s, but they also have none, just in case you are doing a pulse tag, BPM type tag. That is available as well. And here it is, a BPM type, ID only, which is the one I'm using right now, and sensor if you have sensor transmitters. Press OK. Now I'm just going to delete that because I don't want to track for that. So I'm just going to select it in this line here, and then I'm just going to press delete. So I'm going to make sure I send this to the receiver. It's the most important part at the end of every time you change a page. It's good to send either the actual configuration, which is number 1, or send all. Go to antennas now. Now I'm only using the main antenna gain, so I'm going to drop that down because at the moment I'm just in an office, and I'm still going to send that. Be a little quieter in here. Filter settings. Generally speaking, enable pulse width filter is already checked off, so I'm just going to make sure that it stays checked off unless I'm running into a lot of noise, and then I may turn that back on. And make sure it's sent, and down here in the bottom you can see that it's sent to the receiver. There'll be an error message if it doesn't go. Now this is a sensor page. You're able to monitor multiple code sets and multiple sensor code sets as well on our new 1200. It's going to send all just to me on the safe side, and then press done. Now I'm going to take this off this mode. In other words, I'm going to log off. See how it says log off here? I'm going to log off because I've already loaded up the receiver. Now I'm going to show you the Keypad Simulator because I'm in the office here, and it's just got the same numbering system. All the keys do the exact same function. But you still have to log on just as if you were tracking manually. So now you can hit enter here just to see what the next one is, and 3 default login. If you never change the password, all you have to do is press 3. You're logged on. As you can see, keypad is online. The mode is idle. I'm not monitoring as of yet. Let's go to code log now, and as you can see, auto scan. That's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to scan my frequency, and all I have to do is press 2 for start, and it should go right into monitor mode. And as you can see, I'm picking up ID 16 already, and I should be able to, as well as 13. I'm just going to separate them a bit. So you'll see ID 13 here in the middle and ID 16. They are maxing out because I am in an office, and in the field you could probably put the gain up to 70, 75 in a very rural area and pick up tags from several hundred meters away. So this is already maxed out, so I could put the gain at 0 probably and not too worry about it. And I'll put it down to 2, see what happens here. Okay, I'm still picking up at max, so I'll go all the way down to 0. I should probably still be picking up at max, they're just too close. Now you can see the monitor mode. Now for some quick records. All you have to do is press the info key. And you'll see up on the top left of your little LCD that it'll say QRC, which means that right now the quick records are being taken. So it'll give you a power level, it'll give you the ID of the tracker, and it'll give you the time. And I'll show you that in a few moments. Now, I only have one channel, so you see this in the middle here, channel 01. And the antenna 0 just means that's the front port of the receiver. And this is the frequency on the left. S stands for signal strength. It is maxed out, but as I've said before, I'm in an office environment. So I see two codes, ID 13, ID 16. In the field, you would see them at two S values. Always bear to the highest strength value, and you should be able to isolate your tag by dropping down your gain and pointing your antenna towards the highest S value for that particular tag, especially if they're underwater, in fish case, or in the air. Now, you see how it went back to monitor mode? Well, I hit the info key. Now I'm going to store a few more records. This is particularly handy in an airplane if you pick up transmitters, fish or avian, and just press info key and it'll store the record. Now that should be enough, just to give you an idea what's happening here. So I'm just going to end my scan, and then I'm going to go to log off. I'm going to have to log off this particular device. So I'm going to hit end escape one more time. I'm going to hit log off number 2, the 2 key. I should be offline now. I'm going to say done over here on the right, and then I'm going to log on back onto my host application. Now, of course, there'll be time between you doing this, but now we're going to download the data that we just put on this M2. So I'm going to download. As you can see, there's a small file there, the QR data bin, and I'm going to download it. And I'm going to replace it because I just did the default, so I'm just going to go yes, and then I can remove it, so next time it won't be there. And go yes. Now down here is the QR data bin. So now I'm going to take a view of the file. So I'm just going to go done. QR records or quick records is a fairly new thing. So we are going to be taking a look by this panel here. As you can see, it's sort of lit up in yellow. I'm going to hit the quick records. I'm going to load one. So just press load. Now here's my quick record bin right there. Just going to open it. I have a GPS going in this particular case, and what it shows us is the date, the exact time because it's GPS time, the frequency, of course, the ID, or in the case of BPMs, it'll give you the BPM value and the frequency that it was on. Main panel antenna, and the gain is 0. Of course, the RSSI stands for relative signal strength, and of course it's maxed out where I am, and I'm only in one position, possibly a little bit off by a meter or so, and it's fairly stayed in the same spot. My antenna is kind of dangling. So that's it. That's a quick record look, and now you can export it and send it out into a text file in the common delimiter and just export it, and you'll be able to save it in text format. Then you're done.